Hey everyone, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Wednesday, everyone. It is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So something a little different for us. The big caveat here is that we only did upholstery on it. I have no idea how to work on these things. This is a 91 Vanagon. No idea. As far as I know, the engine's in the back, but I couldn't even tell you what kind of engine it is. Could be an inline four for all I know. I really don't know. However, like I said, it did come in for some upholstery work, and the owner has been trying to get it in for us to do some upholstery work since I think he contacted us in like December or something first time. And it hasn't actually taken 6 or 7 months, but he kind of was having some work done on the car off and on during that time, and then finally he had the car ready to bring here, and we had some time, so I said, you know what, go ahead and bring it. Let's do this. So let's talk about what we did. Open this puppy up here. If I even know how. There we go. So here's something I should mention: is the owner of this is paraplegic, which of course means he's in a wheelchair, and so he's got the bus outfitted with the lift here, so this thing kind of swings out and comes down, and then can lift him up in his wheelchair and bring him in, and then from there he's able to get himself into the driver's seat, and I'll show the controls over there. It's actually pretty cool that he's able to drive it without use of his legs. Anyway, so what we did was we installed a new headliner. So he had a headliner kit which we installed, and of course it looks amazing because Santiago, our upholstery guy, is amazing. I don't know that there's anyone better than this guy, guys. But anyway, so yeah, that went in. Kind of a pain because all this like ducting and controls and stuff for the AC, which I don't think even works anymore, but it all had to come down. This long tube thing here, I had to come down. This whole above head console thing here had to come down. Just like tons of work just to get at the headliner, really. And then obviously all that stuff had to go back in. That thing back there weighs a ton. I think that has like maybe the evaporator in it for the air conditioner. So yeah, super heavy, very awkward, and it's got like hoses and all the stuff running to it. But anyway, of course we did it. So yeah, headliner. And then the other thing was new carpet, which was just back here in this area. The kit that he had only had this area back here. The carpet up front actually looks pretty good, and he keeps these covers on it, so it's probably like new under those covers, but the kit he supplied only had the piece back here. And then he also supplied brand new door panels, which are also very nice looking. We had to modify them quite a bit though, because I think that the door panels, the interior panels for back there, I think were meant to go like all the way to the back, so maybe they're kind of, I don't know, universal, and that they're made for a car that didn't have all this stuff going on with the air conditioner. So Santiago actually had to shorten these panels by probably almost a foot to get them to kind of fit in there. Of course, he was able to use the old ones as a template, but still lots of extra work to do that. And then the other thing that was kind of funny is none of the new panels had any holes in them, like the holes for the clips that push in. So he had to go and transfer all those holes from the old ones to the new ones. And anyway, so yeah, there's always like unforeseen work, even when there's a kit that comes in or whatever. You don't just like slap it in usually. Anyway, so that is pretty much what we did there. This is a cool looking bus, by the way. I actually like Vanagons. I think they look neat. I don't think I'd own one because, like I said, I don't understand them. I don't know how to work on them. I don't have time to learn. But this thing is pretty bitchin'. It's got kind of wheels, which I assume are probably aftermarket. It's got this thing here going on, which looks like it's custom. I don't know, I guess I call it like a body kit almost here. Pretty cool. Anyway, here, let's take a look at the controls. So this thing here, I don't know what all this does. I think this is the throttle and the brake. So I guess if you go that way, that looks like it's doing the throttle, and if you go that way, you're pushing the brake. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. And then I guess to steer it with one hand, because your other hand is controlling the throttle and so on, he's got one of these deals here where you can easily, you know, make full turns with one hand because your other hand's on here. And I think other than the lift itself, I think that's about it. I honestly don't know what this thing is, but yeah, so super cool. He's got this thing outfitted all for himself here, and he used to be apparently a VW mechanic. I don't know if he worked on like vintage ones or what, but I know that he was a VW mechanic at some point. So pretty cool. I actually like it a lot. But yeah, again, I won't be buying one. I don't know how to work on this thing, but we can do upholstery. So, all right. So why don't we move indoors here, and let me close this door so the lighting is better. Okay, much better. Here we are. So, all right, let's talk about what happened inside the shop today. So, start with this guy. So, look at that. It's super clean right now because those of you that live here locally know what I'm about to say, or at least maybe you do. It did in our region. It rained this morning. Super weird for July 1st. And this car was outside at the time, and so it got kind of a little unexpected bath. It needed it, though. It was getting pretty dusty. So, yeah, of course, cleans up amazing. But so Rafa spent the day on this one just taking care of more last little details with it. The horn on it was acting pretty weird, like Volkswagen horns often do. And it was actually like trying to honk most of the time without pushing on the horn button. And so Rafa just kind of methodically went through the entire horn circuit, and it sounds like there were several points along the way that had issues or potential issues that he fixed. So the horn circuit on these is quite a bit more complicated than on the earlier cars. There's all these like contacts and stuff in the steering wheel and I don't know if it's on the wiper part of the selector there or the turn signal part, but yeah, somehow it goes through one of those levers, again, either turn signal or wiper. There's like contacts in that thing, and then there's a harness and a plug, and then that plugs into something which goes to something else, and I don't even know. I let Rafa take care of it. He's the one who wired this car, so I go for it. So yeah, he kind of methodically went through the whole thing and figured out. Horn works great now, of course, but yeah, these, I don't know, guys. Volkswagen kept making stuff more and more complicated over the years, and the earlier horn mechanisms are a little complicated, but at the same time, they're kind of straightforward, as there's only so many points you have to check along the way to get them to work, essentially. And but yeah, this one, to me, it's unnecessarily complicated with all the various like little contacts and pins and stuff. Anyway, so he got that working, and then this car had leaky valve covers, which is pretty weird. Usually we don't have an issue with that, but they were leaking pretty bad, like where they would leave a little puddle about that big, the next morning after we'd like pull the car in. That's super bad. Sometimes we'll get like a drop from the oil covers here occasionally, but we're pretty good at putting in valve cover gaskets. But these ones, for whatever reason, they were leaking, so he sealed them up even better. So that should not be an issue. Doesn't seem to be an issue anymore. So I don't know what was up with that, because like I said, we don't usually have that issue. But so he worked on that, and then he went around the car. So our painter, Renee, mixed up some of this paint, which of course we have. And Rafa went around the car with a camel hair brush, and I don't even know where, because he did a good job, but it's like little teeny tiny nicks, like maybe under a fender lip type of things, just stuff like that around the car. Nothing major, like, something right here, obviously, just little stuff around edges and stuff. So he went around and touched up that kind of stuff. That's usually like one of the last things we do on a car. So on that note, other than some zinc plated parts for the motor, the clips that hold the air cleaner housing halves together that we have to put on, this car is pretty much just ready to have some miles put on it. So I will probably take it for my kind of intermediate drive around Orange tomorrow, which is about a 7 or 8 mile drive. probably go ahead and do that. That'll be the furthest it's been on so far. And then assuming that looks good, then the next one would be probably what I call the torture test. That's the one that's got a bunch of really long hills that are pretty steep and go on forever. That's usually the next one. And then assuming that all goes well, which I have no doubt it will, then probably hop up on the freeway with it at some point and, at least go a few exits or so and make sure it can cruise along at a reasonable speed and stuff like that. Reasonable for a Volkswagen. Although the motor in here is a 1776, otherwise stock-ish, but it should definitely have more pep than like a stock 1600 dual port, which is what this would have come with. So it's a 1776, a little bit more compression. I think we put a very mild cam in it, so it should have a bit more power than a stock one, even through a stock exhaust and stock carburetor and stuff. Those things make a big difference. So I'm actually looking forward to driving this thing. So that was pretty much Rafa's day. I actually continued on this, and I wasn't quite as far along as I thought I was. And hold on one second, and I'll show you what. Okay. I think on yesterday's episode, I mentioned I just need to pretty much put oil in it. And there was like maybe one or so other very minor thing that I had to do. However, today when I was crawling around underneath of it, checking something, I quickly remembered that this car is set up for a full flow oil filter. And so when the motor came from Brothers, they just had a hose connecting the inlet and the outlet on the motor just as like a placeholder or to keep it from dripping all over the place. So I went over to AJ's, otherwise known as Low Bucket, and bought essentially a complete kit with the mount that goes on the bumper bracket. You can kind of see it there. And the actual adapter and the barbed, come on, focus. There we go. The barbed fittings and hose and pretty much everything I needed to install this on the car. So, that needed to be done too, because it's full flow. So yeah, I'd kind of forgot about that yesterday. I was thinking that I was like almost done and ready to put oil in it and fired up. And then this morning I looked under there and I was like, oh yeah, need to do that. So there it is. Anyway, so got that done. And what else? I think other than that, like I said, I put oil in it, and at that point disconnected the coil and just kept turning the motor over and over and over and over and over and over until the oil light went out, meaning that it had some pressure and that the oil was circulated around as it should. And at that point, hooked the coil back up, primed the carburetor a few times to, get the fuel pump going fast enough to pull gas up from the tank and get into the float bowl. And yeah, after doing that a few times, it basically fired right up and started running. The only thing I think I'm going to do, I know I'm going to do because I'm not 100% satisfied with it, is, and I don't know why they did that, but when Brothers built the motor, maybe they thought it was for an earlier car, they put a 30 PIC carburetor on here, and it's like an early style carburetor made for a manual choke. Well, this car is a 64. By then they had electric chokes, and so when I fired the car up, it wouldn't really idle because there was no choke circuit engaged. And so I had to keep kind of like, tapping the throttle to keep it idling. Well, that's no good. I can't really give my customer a car like that where, it just tries to die for the first few minutes until it gets warmed up. I have no doubt that once it's warmed up, it'll run great. But so I called Renato over at Brothers and I told him, hey, we really need a carburetor for this thing that's got an electric choke in it. So he's going to look into getting one. So I did see that there is, I think it's probably made by Impy, which I think is what this carburetor is made by. That's like a 30 picked 1, and that is available with a 12-volt choke. So I think we just need to swap that carburetor in so that we have a functional choke circuit. Because, yeah, this right now, this is not really acceptable. It won't really idle when it's stone cold. So, but other than that, it sounds great, and I have no doubt it is. Like I said, I think they dynoed this motor, and I think it made like 80 horsepower or something. Again, it's a 1699 cc, so stock 85.5 by 74, and little compression, little cam, maybe some rockers. Yeah, so pretty good little motor. Should be a good match to the transmission, which we also re-geared. Anyway, so I started it. It ran. Need to switch out the carburetor to something with a choke. And don't know when I'll get that carburetor, but I will probably go ahead and take this thing for a spin tomorrow because I can swap that carburetor on there, no problem. It's not that relevant to how the car, drives and otherwise stuff other than the warm-up part, which, again, should just be like a couple minutes. But yeah, I'll go ahead and probably start driving it around a bit and see how she does. And then when I get that carburetor, I'll swap that in. And I think this thing is going to be an amazing little driver here for this guy. Finally, after all the trials and tribulations he's gone through with this car. Poor guy. So anyway, we are taking care of him. Car's in the right hands now, and it's going to be a great driver. So very happy to get it back to him in the not too distant future. So I believe, guys, that is it for today. Got some other upholstery stuff going on, plenty of paint and body work. I'll try and give you guys an update on some of that stuff soon. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.